welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your host, Michael Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so we're doing another Hammer. We're getting towards the end of these Hammers now. We're getting to the tail end of Hammer's first major run. And we're with 1971 again. I think we've already done like 7 from 1971. Can you believe it? It's a bit mad. And it's called Hands of the Ripper. This one's directed by Peter Sasdy, who we've seen a few of his films before. He directed one I like, but you didn't like so much, which was Taste the Blood of Dracula.
Yeah.
The one where Dracula was in Victorian or Edwardian England and trying to change the children, but he lived in a church, right? That one. Yeah. Countess Dracula. And one of the guys in this looks like someone from Countess Dracula. I think it was one of the same actors. And now we've got this third one, Hands of the Ripper. So, okay. What was your general feeling about this one?
It was impressively odd. Like, aside from several, like, the comical bad decision making of one of the main characters, it was an okay film.
Yeah.
Like, the premise is generally like Jack the Ripper's daughter is having this episodes where she acts like him.
Yeah,
and that's an interesting sort of mystery. Like, a lot of stuff has been made with similar premises.
Yeah.
But the suddenness of every time.
Yeah, it actually. This is the first time I've actually. I like Hammer, but I never find it particularly scary. I find it entertaining. If it's good and a bit okay, let's get on with it. If it's not, but this I actually did feel some, I don't know, anxiety because of the suddenness of the violence, and it was coming, but it was just so fast. It was so fast. Let's get into it a little more. So it actually starts with a bloke being chased through Victorian streets in Whitechapel, and he's clearly Jack the Ripper. Right, it's clearly Jack the Ripper. We see a little girl in a bed, and we see him come in, kiss the little girl, so then, and then stab her mother, put a big knife through her mother's chest, and then disappear into the night, right? Presumably dead or something. We see this little girl left, and then the credits begin, and it's got a weirdly kind of romantic score, which keeps coming back. It's kind of odd. It's kind of odd. And there's that scene is alluded to in quite a sort of interesting way when she's kind of giving the equivalent of reversion therapy, or she's been asked to remember this instant in her childhood, because she said things like, I'm so cold, and she kind of associates a glittering, because the knife's glittering in the fire, in her face, and she kind of associates glittering and a kiss. It reverts her back to that time. It's kind of the premise. Eric Porter's in this as Dr. John Pritchard. Now he was the captain in Lost Continent. He's pretty good as an actor. The character is a bit stupid, frankly. And there's some weird stuff going on here that feels like it was a bigger plot and just pared down, and the script wasn't adjusted to it. For that, that's how it feels.
Okay, so there's two principal characters. Yeah. The doctor, for some reason, hates his soon-to-be daughter-in-law.
Who's blind?
His blind daughter-in-law.
Yeah. Without it ever being explained.
It never comes up. It never gets explained. It never really gets brought up.
It can't seem to be standard to be in her presence. They don't acknowledge it. They don't say a word about it. It's just, that's how he's been directed to do that, clearly, right? But it doesn't make any sense. We also get Angharad Reese as the girl in question, Anna, Jack the Ripper's daughter. I think this one was pretty good. I was saying to you, it's nice to see someone who looks more age appropriate cast in this show, because she's supposed to be like 17.
She was like 20.
She was actually 27, I think, when she made this, but she looked 17 or 18. So I love Ingrid Pitt, but she does not look like an 18-year-old in some of the films we've seen. Where she's playing an 18-year-old. But Angharad kind of does. It starts with a quite fun kind of seance-y scene, actually, with Dora
Yeah.
Bryan, who's usually a comedy actress, actually, doing a seance and sort of faking this little girl talking to this bereaved woman and her husband, with Anna kind of doing their voices.
Yeah, she's the voice of like her. Now, I only vaguely remembering this from Most Haunted, but her like spiritual guide.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, what was it, Mary or something?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, tell me, do you see the little girl? Who's like, yes, Grandma, I see her.
Yeah.
So, like, through a hole in the wall.
Yeah. She's looking through a little vent. She's behind a curtain by the front door, in an alcove by the front door, but behind a curtain. And we also get Dr. Pritchard and his son have turned up at this seance. They don't believe a word of it, but they're too polite to say anything. And there's also this dodgy bloke who turns out to be a member of Parliament, whose name escapes me, and I can't actually see him in the cast list. I can't remember. He's a member of Parliament.
It's Dysart. It's Derek Godfrey.
Dysart, right, yeah. Okay, he's there too, but it turns out he's not there really for the seance. He's there because he wants to have sex with the young girl, really.
Yeah.
And Granny Goulding's kind of set it up, but it is the first time, and she's but she does milk it, she said, oh, I would never do this if I didn't need the money, but, and she's already obviously told Anna this is going to happen, and she's a fairly passive girl, isn't she? She's been taken in by the Granny, whatever her name is, Granny Goulding, as a young girl, and been raised to do this seance-y stuff, right? Clearly. And, it doesn't mess about, this film.
No, he starts to gift her with stuff, which shines a light in her eyes, which sets her off. But in the interim, Granny's clearly also pulling a hustle where she runs in and does like no, you can't. Here, have the money back.
I'm a little more sympathetic. I think she's actually genuinely doesn't want the girl to be so. I don't know. Because she does throw the money, but she throws the money. Oh, hold on. She throws the money in the fire, don't she? Which kind of indicates it wasn't real money, actually, thinking about it. So, it could be a hustle. Yeah, thinking about it. And this makes the bloke real mad. And he's sort of saying, I'll either have my way or my money, is how he puts it. Lovely. What a nice
delightful person.
Yeah.
But here's where Anna's like Manchurian Candidate programming activates, and she just drives like a fire poker straight through Granny Goulding and the door behind her.
Yeah. So we see the MP run out. The doctor and his son, who discuss the fact his fiance he's getting married he's going to his stag night. He says, I'm getting married in 6 days. And old Dr. Pritchard's all like, oh, is it that soon? You can tell he's not keen. And he's hanging around on the corner waiting for another cab. He lets his son take his cab, and he sees a silhouette of a man and a woman, and it looks like the man's being a dick, and he just kind of ignores it. But then there's a scream, and he runs up to the door, and the MP runs out. He runs up the stairs, and he finds basically Granny pinned to a door with a poker in the back.
Staked to a door. Basically.
And Anna in a sort of semi-comatose state. And then we see them talking to the police, and they're sort of saying, the police are saying, "Can you account for reasons?"
They go through a weird interrogation where they start asking each of the witnesses if they saw the other person leave. Except it's like they give people an out to change their answers.
Yeah,
which is
the police
insane.
inspector seems a bit goofy. I think he just doesn't want any scandal with the MP, frankly. But honestly, the only ones, the grieving couple aren't in the frame. Dr. Pritchard says he saw a man leaving, but does not, even though he saw him clearly, does not implicate the MP. And so the only suggestion is, as the police inspector, well, are you suggesting this young girl could drive this poker through a door and a woman? and all this kind of thing. Anyway, the doctor offers to take Anna in and look after her because basically he's interested. They keep going on about him. He's studying a new science developed by Dr. Freud. Don't know. They keep going on like that. He calls himself a psychoanalyst now or something like that. And he thinks Anna might be involved, but he wants to try and understand what's induced her to do this, right? So he takes her home, gives her his dead wife's bedroom, which the fiancé was going to stay in, and now he says, "Oh no, you've got to stay in the what's it?" And he's a real dick to this woman who's she comes in the house. She's blind. He just comes into the room and says not a word. He just stands there until she bumps into him and is forced to apologise. It's like, what the hell is wrong with this man? Meanwhile, he's much more interested in sort of Anna. He wants to get to the thing is, I couldn't quite tell. It was purely. There was nothing in his intentions, were there?
No, I think he was genuinely professionally.
Yeah. But he's going out of his way to make the blind girl not that welcome while putting all this stuff over her. But, I mean, it's a fair enough thing. He's saying she can't be left alone for a minute, It has to be watched. Well, having said that, he does actually say, I'll meet you for dinner at this place, right, and goes there on his own rather than just waiting for her. Meanwhile, Dolly's the maid who's rocking the cleavage in this quite a bit.
Good Lord. Like, every time she turned around, I was worried she was going to take someone's eyes out.
Yeah. But there is a weird scene where she's bathing Anna, and the doctor just swans in. And there's a young girl in the bath, and he's saying, "It's okay, I'm a doctor," and nothing's made of it. And it seems even the maid's not.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
No knocking, nothing. It's a bit weird. Anyway, she's getting ready, and she's got a pretty pink dress that belongs to his dead wife. While he's waiting at the club, and he kind of gets the waiting. He sees doesn't his son and his daughter-in-law to be turn up, and he's kind of wants to leave. So I'm a bit worried about Anna. I'm going back. Meanwhile, she's in the dress, and Dolly's kind of saying, "Oh, he said put this necklace on," and it's a glittery necklace.
Yeah, it's a glittery necklace. It shines in her eyes, and Anna is at this point holding a little hand mirror, which she swings backwards, and it smashes in such a way that it makes a knife that's in all of the posts.
Yeah. And also Dolly kisses her on the cheek, saying, "You look pretty as a doll," and that kiss then is the final trigger. And she basically just stabs Dolly in the neck with this knife, who then sort of staggers back and falls in the bath, I think. Is that right? Or did she just fall on something? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think she fell back into the bath.
And then the doctor comes in and finds all this, obviously cleans it all up, takes her down to his sort of medical rooms, and gives her a tranquilizer, if I remember rightly. And he basically cleans all this stuff up himself. And he's still this is where the bad decision making comes in, right? Because he's like, no, I think I could cure
He covers up for her.
What about the maid that just got stabbed to death? Was there any comment about that? And I can't remember the sequence of events, but we'll just rattle through this. Basically, Anna is constantly going on about Anna must be watched at all times. And while he's talking to his son and son's fiance, he then goes straight back, and Anna's gone. The windows are open, and she's gone. And she's wandering the streets of Whitechapel with a glazed expression.
And a prostitute basically grabs her. So.
Yeah, well, a load of prostitutes. You're too young for around here, and they're all haranguing her. And then this larger lady who calls herself Long Liz, which is interesting because one of the victims of Jack the Ripper was called Long Liz Stride. Long Liz was her nickname, so that's weird, right? Anyway, so she's Long Liz, and she says, you don't want to be hanging around here with these lot. You need somewhere better. Follow me. And she seems to be helping her, but then there's some banter with the prostitute saying, Long Liz likes the young girls.
She likes them young.
and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, the doctor's running around sort of haranguing these prostitutes. Where'd she go? Where does she live? And all this. And they're saying, "Where's your money?"
It turns out that I've actually seen that the actress that played Long Liz in something else.
What? Yeah, I recognise her for lots of things. It's Linda Barron. Is the actress.
Yeah, I recognise her from Come Outside, the little kid show. So,
oh, okay, yes, she's in that.
Yeah,
she's also quite... In Britain, she's famous for being Nurse Gladys Emanuel in the comedy Open All Hours. She's famous for that as well. Linda Barron is her name. She's got quite a long, illustrious career in British TV, actually. She's done kids and drama and comedy and all sorts. Anyway, she's saying, let's have a look at you. You haven't got much up here. The gentleman all like all this kind of banter.
Yeah.
And then, again, she's got something glittery and she kisses Anna on the cheek. Insta trigger, innit? No messing about. Anna grabs a load of hat pins and
stabs her in the eye.
All right. With her hand in front of her eye, she stabs through the hand, straight into her eye. And while old Dr. Pritchard say, where's this Long Liz? One of them goes, here she is now. And she staggers down the street with a hat pin sticking out.
With a bunch of hat pins sticking out of both her hand and her eye.
Yeah. It's proper grim. And then he runs off and gets Anna and hustles her off before anyone could do anything about it. I really have to mention the banners in this, and there's lots of people getting angry. Oh no, sorry, I'm confusing it completely. I watched Sherlock Holmes earlier today, the Robert Downey Jr., which is set in Victoria, Britain. I'm thinking of scenes from that.
Yeah,
my mistake. But there's like a bit of angry mob stuff in this, a little bit, and basically at that point the doctor should clearly go to the police, right, and say sorry, this girl is. But he's going, I think I can cure her. I can cure all. Basically, he thinks he can somehow cure all crime by getting to the bottom of what's wrong with Anna, right?
Yeah.
And all, the MP. Oh yeah, and also he sees the MP.
The MP keeps coming and going.
Yeah, there's a lot of story contraction in that. He then says, he kind of intimates he saved the MP from being identified as the man leaving the murder scene.
Yeah.
In order to get the MP to get him to find out stuff about Anna, right?
Yeah.
And
but he never really asks about Anna.
No, but the
MP never follows up on it.
Yeah, the MP sets up a medium who might know stuff.
Who
they go see, but as soon as she interviews Anna, she basically says she's the daughter of Jack the Ripper, right?
No, she goes, oh, her father, the Ripper, and then like the doctor's going, what is it? It's like, are you stupid? Come on.
Yeah, what do you mean? And then instantly, right? Something glittery
she's like, oh yeah. No, she's like, oh, you must be a bit shaken up, dear, and like kisses her on the cheek, like hugging her. And it's like a big some sort of metal skewer ends up like just teleports to her hands. She just stabs it, like gets her straight away. As in the doctor literally turns his back and turns
and then she's
to
dead.
her again.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh man, and like she's dead already. So
and then he hassles her away without telling the police. Yeah. Right. And the MP knows about it now, says, look, you know, I'm going to the police if you all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, he gets Anna back. He's sort of saying, I'm going to help cure you. Then instantly shows her something glitter. There's also a bit of hypnosis and asking her questions. And that's why she talks about being really cold and her mother staring at her for hours because her mother's dead, right? And so he thinks he understands it. He also explains the fire of the glittery stuff. Oh, when she had to do the science, there would have been reflections from the fire. So she's being reverted back to the science, which is not true. But the medium also says she's possessed by Jack the Ripper, basically. She's kind of intimates that. No, the doctor doesn't really acts like he hasn't been told that information. It's a bit weird. Anyway, he instantly then shows her something glittery, kisses her, which
he
now induces
runs through all of her triggers.
And he knows what the triggers are.
She grabs one of the swords nearby and then stabs him straight through the side, but in such a way that the 2.5-foot sword doesn't come out his other side.
Come out. We don't. Yeah, we didn't understand that, but it looks bad.
It's the point where he has to hook the sword around on the door and then let himself fall backwards to get it out.
Oh, it's grim. This bit. It's like, that looks bad. Meanwhile, Anna. There's a constant thing about the couple to be have got to be chaperoned at all times. The housekeeper's constantly carrying on. Anyway, Anna wanders out in a catatonic state after stabbing the bloke with a sword, and they say, "Oh, could you act as the chaperone?"
Yeah, she could be our chaperone.
And she says not a word. Yeah. Considering there's a blind woman there, she says not a word, but they just take her along as the chaperone.
Yeah, they just pull her in and leave it at that.
Meanwhile, I think the housekeeper finds him and says, "Oh, she's chaperoning for him."
Yeah, the housekeeper knocks on his office door.
Oh yeah,
he's leaning against the table. And she's like, "Oh yeah, Anna's looking after chaperoning the two of them." He's like, "Very good," and just sort of stumbles out, gets a carriage, and goes to see his son. And he looks
to the hospital
dead already in the carriage.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that Anna and the fiance went to the Whispering Gallery at St. Paul's. Yeah, St. Paul's.
Yeah.
And she's
so she's gone with the blind girl and Anna have gone to the Whispering Gallery, which is a massive flight of stairs. It has to be said.
Massive flight of stairs and a long, big empty room.
Yeah, a big. Well, where the dome is, right?
Dome. So.
Yeah.
Basically, so the doctor catches up with his son in a carriage, and he already looks dead. He's just sort of slumped against the side, no, my son, we have to get Anna, this, that, and the other. And the son's like, "Father, what's wrong?" It's like, the gaping wound in his side would probably be a start. But
there's a clue. There's a clue.
And the continuity edit goes really to shit here because they keep swapping places every time it cuts back to the
one's on one
carriage.
side, one's on the other, and it's
which either means that they the continuity was fucked or they stopped and swapped at some point. But which is a funny image.
They shot it wrong, or they should have reversed the image or something.
Yeah, but basically they get to the Whispering Gallery, and the son runs upstairs.
Which takes ages. It's a 5 minute.
It takes ages. It takes longer than the two women sort of slowly stepping up one by one. At least a dead sprint up the stairs.
He's knackered.
And Laura, the fiance, is like, "Oh, Anna, you're shaking like a leaf." Yeah, puts her arms around her, gives her a kiss.
Yeah. Oh, no, but before that, she says to Anna, "Go around the other side and we should be able to whisper to each other." And she recounts how when she was a little girl, her dad used to do it with her, or something like that. But when Anna's on the other side and she starts hearing her own dad, don't she, saying, "Kill her," and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And she's going "No, I don't want to do it," and that's what makes Laura concerned and come round.
Yeah.
And then we get the big effects shot of this movie.
Yeah, the old doctor who's bleeding to death staggers into the middle of the big, I don't know what you call it. It's not an auditorium. It's like the big room under the main area under the dome, which is completely empty. It looks really nice. And starts calling up, "Anna, come to me."
Just like, "Anna, come to me."
Yeah, and Anna then looks down and smiles and jumps over the edge. And we get, rather unfortunate.
Get what looks like a Barbie doll getting speared to the ground.
Yeah.
On top of another, doll. And then it cuts up to the Doctor and Anna dying on the floor.
He's covered in his own blood, and she's kind of bloody as well because she's hit a stone fall from a massive height. And then the film just ends, right?
Yep, just very abruptly, just kind of stops.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, some of the stuff's in it so weird. Like the dynamics of the characters, the terrible decision making, and you know, this is probably the most violent one we've seen of Hammer.
Yeah, technically, the most violent one that we've seen.
Yeah. It does not mess about.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, looking at some of the background, it wasn't produced by the usual producer. Michael Carreras is often the producer, but it was produced by a female producer called Ada Young, who also produced She, which we didn't cover, but is a Hammer film, and from the late 60s. So interesting, different cinematography from usual, different music from usual. Music was weirdly romantic rather than horror, to be honest. But it was okay. Yeah. It worked. It totally worked.
Yeah.
It was just a slightly odd film, wasn't it? Really, all round.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I was going to say some of the reviews here sort of make some points about it. Some sort of say it's routine. But it has the usual good stuff from Hammer, which is good performances and period authenticity, and its faults, which is usually a bad plot, weird extras. They describe them as rhubarbing extras. I don't know what that means. And it's basically a sadistic thing. Yeah, that's fine. And they say the director's doing his best to sort of elicit what was going on. It's an unusual one. I think it's got quite a bit of atmosphere, actually, as well. Yeah. It's just the Doctor's so bad at making decisions.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I consider this one of the better Hammer films, just because of the comedy of the ineptitude of the characters.
So you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Variety wrote, here Hammer breaks away from vampires and monsters and gives us a highly intriguing twist on Jack the Ripper. Which shook London back in the 1890s and fascinated writers. Well directed by Peter Sasdy, the tension skillfully developed. The murders are particularly gruesome, and there are shocks that will have the most hardened filmgoer sitting up. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you got to remember it's time and place. I mean, we've seen way stronger than this, obviously. It doesn't review that badly. It's middling to good. Tend to be the reviews.
Yeah.
And I think Angharad Reese was quite good as Anna, actually.
Yeah. Well. Also, the first time I've seen Angharad used in a real world setting. So.
Yeah. It's quite an unusual name, isn't it? I think this might be Peter Sasdy's best of his three made for Hammer. I always like Taste the Blood of Dracula. But I know I can recognise its flaws too. But yeah, this one actually made me feel something that a horror film should make you feel. Not Hammer doesn't usually do that. I love Hammer, but it's a nostalgia trip for me, really. And the quality, it's the quality, the sets and stuff like that. But when like Peter Cushing or Christopher Lee ain't there, it's never great. Apart from the Quatermass films, then So it was okay. Any final thoughts, and we'll score?
None that I can think of at the top of my head. So my score is because I did quite enjoy this. So I'm going to actually be putting it on the minuses at about 6 or 7.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to give this a straight 3 out of 5. I thought it was fine. There were some weird. The script could have done with a pass through someone, and the whole why didn't he like his daughter-in-law was just odd. Yeah, it was just odd. It was never explained.
Very strange.
I thought there's going to be some explanation of his dead wife or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was odd. But yeah, overall I quite liked it, quite enjoyed it. And that was, I think, the last one from 71 from Hammer. So I think we've done 6 or 7 all from 1 year, which is really churning them out, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah.
But they calm down a bit as they're coming towards the end of their run, really. I think they just ran out of money, maybe. Whatever they were trying wasn't working, I think, basically, which is a shame. But it does lead to some of the more fun ones, which we're going to be doing soon. So some of the more extreme and weird Hammer stuff. Yeah, and we've seen plenty of weird already, but, we'll see. All right, then, let's wind up there. So, bye from me.
Bye.